Hi everyone. Thank you for taking care of that, September. That's a weird one. Hi September. Hi baby. And hi anyone else coming in on the raid or from elsewhere. We're gonna do some more painting today. I hope my makeup's on point. So I'm gonna look at the camera for a sec. Hi there. You don't get to see me on camera very often. It sounds like the pizza's done. I'll wait a little bit to have some. See, let's get this all more or less centered. Hi Andy. Feel like that should be a little closer. So that's all right. How about if I now move the camera up a little so that it's more centered? I think that's okay. It's a little blurry though, which means I have the focus wrong, which sucks because I like specifically fixed the focus last time I did this. Figure video, camera control. Let's see. Exposure. Should not be on. Okay, just reset everything. Turn off auto exposure because it's terrible. Right there, I think, is as good as we're gonna get it. All right, cool. I don't know why it turned those back off. It just wants to automatically do everything. There we go. Go turn it into eighths of pizza for convenience. Much appreciated. So these are what we've got so far. I actually want to fix her eye real quick. See if we can get a good picture of her. I need to dim the light a bit, I think. There we go. Now it's not quite so washed out. So yeah, I want to fix her eye. Still too bright. Fucking hell. Let's just see what it looks like when we turn off the light. I'm not going to leave it this dark. But yeah, you can see that her eye's a little runny. Okay. So I'm going to just put a tiny little blob of white or gray over that spot, and then put some of this good old varnish on it. Pull out some paintbrushes. Got the dipping water over there. That's for dipping your paint snacks. Don't 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 dip your snacks in paint water. So I'm gonna go with the very light gray here. That's what we're gonna do to fix her eye. That part was the thing that made me think I'd gotten bad at painting. And then I realized that the whole problem was just one tiny drop of paint. So let's go. Our relatively precise brush. I don't want a smaller one, but there's my mouse. It's got some makeup dust on it. Not actually as crusty as it might appear. But tasty in color, baby. Don't drink the paint. It's not good for you. All right, brush is a little wet. Bring it to a point. Now we're gonna take just the tiniest drop of gray there. Wipe off most of it. And then we're gonna just dab her right there. I'm gonna do it on the other side too, so it looks intentional. And there we go. Now she has a much easier to interpret face. Once again, the light is too bright to bring stuff up close. I need to keep the switch close to me so that I can, like, turn it off when I want to focus something up close. Alright, so today we're going to paint the Demon Dog, which is inspired by my good friend, the Demon Dog. Once we're done with this one, once we're done with this mini, we can really start on the crowdfund, which I hope you'll all contribute to and or help me share. I'm very excited about it. Got a couple more prototypes in the works, and these guys are going to get a once-over. Alright, so I'm thinking that their fur still got some support gunk on it, by the way, and I don't care on the prototypes. I think that's fine. On the finished product, I'll actually remove it all. I think that'll be very important. Alright, but I think kind of a Rottweiler look, black and brown. I think that'd be a good choice. That does mean I'm going to have to get some black paint out of here, though. Which then also means I'm going to use this palette because I forgot to clean the other one. Literally no other reason. I just forgot to clean the other one. Okay, thank you. I'll come get some of that after we've done a bit of work here. Desperate to heed the siren's call of slurping murky water. This is why I can't leave my art supplies out. Someone will try and eat them. Alright, got a little bit of water here. I need to get a dropper because I keep fucking this up. I have a dropper, don't I? No, I threw that out just today. I threw that out. Fuck. Ah, dang it. I'm so mad. Some of this water out. Then work on mixing the thin paint. There we go. So this is black. This is going to go over the primer. We don't have to be too careful with this. This is just basically an extra layer. Okay. Just go over with the thin paint so it doesn't futz the details. I don't think I used the word futz right there. It doesn't fuck up the details. Go. That. So we're just going to go all over all of the furry parts, basically. All the parts that aren't closed that are showing, we're going to go over them in black. And that will, in the end, help details stand out. And then we go over the brown parts, you know, the parts that are supposed to be brown, with brown. Good system. Let's see. So how's everyone doing tonight? It's been a calm day here. Had a bad headache. Fought it off with medication and Overwatch, so. Alright. Now, as I have said before last stream, the ones in these containers are pre-thinned. They're not thinned maybe as much as some people would like, but they are pre-thinned. So only the ones coming out of a bottle are going to get live thinned. Let's see. Paint thinning live. Getting a snack. Excellent. I need to turn the camera more this way so that I don't have to hold out my arms as far as I paint. Let's see. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna go over some of this again. It's occurred to Katie specifically. She was big into, her and Sue were both big into war game stuff a long time ago, tabletop. And it occurred to Katie that there's not good body representation in miniatures, like at all, ever. That's that sucks. That sucks. Everyone is either thin or has a bodybuilder physique. Uh, Most characters are white or some kind of monster. And we got some furry going on here, obviously. You know, if you can't tell. But there's going to be plenty of humans in the run, too. And we want them to represent all different types of bodies. Because it's important to know that there are these types of bodies out there, and they are valid. That needs to be in every space. Well, every media space. Generally, every space. Yes, I was right the first time. I had to rethink that a bit. Thinking about how much work maintaining my fur would be in a furry society. That'd be a lot of work, huh? I'd have to polish my scales and shit. All right. Keep him a nice bright green. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just waiting for that to dry now. I guess I can start on clothing. How about we just do this rock at the bottom? How about we just do that rock? That rock is awesome, and also, what's it called? Licensed for use without attribution. So I'm gonna check the actual. I'm gonna check the author's name and see if see if they'd be okay with me attributing it to them anyway. One of the interesting things with 3D printing is there's a lot of like weird licensing issues because it's fairly new on the macro scale. Yeah, that actually looks really good if we just like dry brush over it. Ah, get over there. That's pretty cool. And we can do a wash over it too. Hey, Beekeeper. One of the wildcard stories dealt with being a furry. Mustelina was a joker who turned into an anthropomorphic weasel. She bought ferritone by the gallon, ate a lot of raw fish, and had 6-inch fangs. You don't want to know what her grooming products cost. Oof. Yeah, let's get some nice gray all over this rock. Gray, the color of some rocks. Surprised that there hasn't been some branded sweet pizza there is, actually. It's the Dairy Queen Treats-A Pizza. I don't know if they have it in the States, but it was pretty popular in Canada. To look up the Rottweiler pattern rather than trying to do it from memory. Having acknowledged that, you can have good sweetsa. Pizza Pizza was a cookie crust, or is a cookie crust, covered in ice cream, and then you could get lots of little sweet thingies, lots of little sweet toppings for it. Sprinkles and shit. Oh. Oh, that's barely on screen. Fuck. Let's tilt this up a bit more again. Surprisingly difficult to do because there's like on this tripod there's like 6 different joint spaces, points of articulation. Right. Getting the rock looking pretty good now. You know what? I'm just gonna do Rottweiler pattern from memory. You know, the thing I just said I shouldn't do. CC's has chocolate pizza on their buffet, which is basically a raft of breadsticks covered in chocolate sauce and powdered sugar instead of cheese. I was thinking more fig and honey, but that works. Let's see. I've done habanero pizza before. That's very sweet. Assuming you can get past the heat and actually taste it, I guess. I know not everyone can. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the lighter brown, I think. This one here. Ah, why does that seem like it keeps turning more downwards every time I look? Oh, it's actually turned up as much as it can be. You know what? This is fine. This is good. I like this. All right, we're gonna use this lighter beigey brown because that's closer to a Rottweiler color. Will eat literal rocks. Won't eat chocolate pizza. I am probably allergic to the chocolate pizza, so I have not eat. All right, here we go. So like the bottom jaw on a Rottweiler is brown. Neck, and that stretches down to their tummy. That actually looks way more fleshy than I was intending. Now that it's flat on there, so I better use the... You don't want your fur to look fleshy, usually. Unless you do. So we're just going to wipe most of that off and get the darker brown out. With the darker brown, it can be made to look fleshy. But it's all going to depend on the pattern. The lighter one, I think, has too much beige in it. Thank you, Andy. Used to get pepperoni pizza and just upturn Hershey's Kisses and stick the pointy part into the pepperonis. Does that fix the concept for you? Not my thing. There we go. Brown. Right. Now we're going to take it around town. Go. We're just going to... That's too dark for what I originally wanted, but that's okay. It's not exactly how I had pictured it, but sometimes that happens. Up behind the ears. Used to have a Rottweiler named Abby. Miss her. I miss all my pets that have passed. Brown, little less on one ear than the other. That's pretty common with any fur pattern. Not going to be symmetrical. Looking pretty good now, though. Give I don't know, kind of a racing stripe in between the horns, too. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. All right, now their tummy is important. Go. Some of that good paint on there. We're gonna get the areas done, and then I'm gonna texture it out as fur a little bit. Okay. A drop of glue dried on here while I was gluing them. Whoops. That happens, though. Now we got partial brown gloves and socks. Be not all over, but part way up and down. Something that's common in, or yeah, common, popular in certain parts of Canada is potatoes on pizza. And you say that to just about any American, and they like recoil. Really good. Some of that. Need a few layers sometimes. Here, got a full-on brown sock, except for the toes. Like there's a hole in the end. Toe beans can poke out. Are starting to look pretty good, huh? Yeah, I feel like American pizza places tend to be way too cautious. Have only like the most popular ingredients on hand, even the fancy ones. This one, the toes can be besocked. Go. Pretty cool. Everyone loves the little paw pads. Don't tell me you don't love the little paw pads. I don't want to hear it. Gonna need a couple layers on a lot of this. It's looking pretty good. Don't want it to look patchy. Maybe poochy. Because, you know, they're a demon dog. Yeah, starting to look a way more Rottweilery. Based on the outskirts of Bengaluru, California-style pizza kitchen, brick oven, fancy pastry case, whole bit. Greek pizza was feta and spinach in real quantities. Was amazing. I've done feta and spinach pizza before. It is tasty. Keep on making sure that this gets brighter. I want this fur to shine. Are, you know, a little bit of pink. I brushed onto the inner part of the ear. Well, I never even started on the other arm, huh? Let's just have it like just the paw. Just the hand is gonna be brown here. So I've decided to not finish Final Fantasy 12 because wow, it is designed very poorly. And I don't like it. We got all the way to the end game before it really rubbed in how poorly paced it was. We are. We're getting there. We're getting there. Is ham and pineapple a dessert pizza, and is that why people are weird? So ham and pineapple was invented in Canada, and they called it the Hawaiian pizza, which, okay. And it is extremely divisive now because someone made it a meme. And that's all I really know about, Hawaiian pizza. Down here, they call ham Canadian bacon, so, okay. Supposedly it's back bacon, but a lot of the time it's not. And also, back bacon isn't, like, popular in Canada. Like, it exists, but it's not something that, you know, your average Canadian eats all the time. All right, this is starting to actually look really, really good. So what color should their shorts be? Pants? I guess they're pants. They reach the ankle. Ham and pineapple pizza throws people who have trouble putting together sweet and savory. Does that make sense? I've always kind of thought of pineapple and ham as both being sweet, though. The Scottish friends of ours had real trouble with that, and we were like, "You're from Edinburgh. You eat Indian food half the time, and it's all about contrasts." Yeah, just a couple years ago, someone was like, pineapple on pizza. This is going to be the meme now. And then everyone started saying it and taking it seriously. So, like, they've got the same type of cargos as she does. So I'm wondering if perhaps, no, I don't want them both to have the same color pants. I just don't. Let's see. You know, with the right shading, I bet that brown that looked fleshy when I tried to make it into fur would work real well for those pants. What color are the Demon Dog's pizzas? That's a good question. Green could look really good on those base colors. Yeah, I really don't want them to have the same color pants, though. I want each character to stand out. So I'm going to go with this beige and see how that goes. This is very beige. All right. Let's see. How does that look? Yeah, I think that'll work once we get the ink on it. I think that's good. Still looks kind of fleshy, though. Maybe I'll dry brush something darker over top of it. You can hear Gaston trying to play in the other room. Pit bulls have this thing where they clop their jaws together to say I want to play. It's like this purely submissive gesture. And they go clop, 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 like they're knocking coconuts together. Hi, babies. Daddy's taking them outside, I think. Great. Yeah, that looks very fleshy, is the thing. This is going to be interesting. We're going to go with it. We're going to go with this. Because I already started on this. See, when you got darker colors, it can be like, oh, that is definitely flesh. But if you put them on another surface, you can be like, oh, that is not flesh. But there aren't a lot of things that are each, right? Fucking. So it's going to need some other detail because, frankly, on its own, it's not a very nice color. But we're here, so this is what we're doing. Kind of works as a khaki. I hope so. I hope it looks good once I get the detailing done. Because right now, it's kind of tripping me out. Maybe that's like inborn racism right there. And it's something I need to work on as a person. So apologies for that. I'm just gonna keep on going. Flesh pants. Oh no, now you've said it though. Now it's been said aloud. Right, what do we got here? What have we got here? Hey, Risby. I gotta trim the fur near his butt. He gets it very matted, and I often don't have the energy to fix it. Maybe I'll do that today. Did a whole bunch of stuff last night, and that was nice. Just, regular household chores. Been so rare lately to have that kind of energy. Also, gonna see if we can't get tested for hypothyroidism. We've got a bunch of those symptoms as well. And I'm about the age when it kicked in for Biomom, so. See what those labs will cost. I was dancing around it the whole time. You're right. You're right, and you should say it. Yeah, I think that'll look pretty good once we get some ink on it. I'll see what colors we have for the ink. Looking up, like, tips on, like, inking and stuff for models gets you a whole bunch of people saying stuff like, just do it by eye, just keep mixing them until you feel it's correct. I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? I need some actual advice. Trying to get advice for any nerd topics is just awful. It's bad on the internet, it's worse in real life. In real life, you've got the problem of going up to someone and not being cishet amongst other things. I'm intersex and I am super gay. Hard to fit in around those tables. Yeah, I just really hope that these things we're making make a difference, honestly. Really want to think that, you know, things can be better. That people can be better. We already know corporations could be better, but choose not to. Right, yeah, that's good for a first color layer, honestly. I'm down with that. I'm down with the flesh pants. Madness is the gift that has been given to me. Whoops. All right. What do we got now? All right. I think I broke September. All right, let's see. What color should their belt be? It could just be black. That'd just take a little bit of once over. Thank you, Bad Road. Also, hi, Bad Road. What color are their shoes or beans? I mean, I guess the beans are going to be mostly black. So I'm thinking that just like over here, she's got a gray top. So if I give them a brighter, whiter top, I think that could work. And the nice thing about them being a dog is that they aren't sweating out of areas. Dogs do sweat. That's a myth that they don't. But their sweat glands are in their paws for the most part. And that means that they won't be sweating under the white top, so it won't stain. So that's pretty exciting. All right, so there's not a pure white in this set. Let me see if I can pull out a white paint from down here. You got to be very careful to thin white paint properly, because otherwise it looks like bird poop. Yeah, that's white. Oh, wow. That is very separated, too. Okay, now I gotta pull the seal off. Art. Damn it. Where's the fucking perforated spot? There it is. I found it. Cats also apparently sweat through their paw pads. Yep, a lot of mammals do. Yeah, you gotta thin white paint very, very carefully, or it just looks fucking terrible. And that's really only true of like pure bright white paint. It's terrible. Terrible, and it's really frustrating to work with. Could go on, but y'all get where I'm coming from. White paint sucks. To exchange flesh problems for fur problems and clammy hands. Yeah. Alright, that might be too thin. Yeah, that's too thin, so I'm going to toss in another drop. Sense can invoke a slight laden frost effect to protect their feet. I don't know what that means, but I definitely believe you. That looks a little better. Yeah, Aston, chill, please. Okay, no, that's too thin. You know what? We're going to go with it anyway. I'm going to go in with very thin white paint and just do several layers. All right. I don't know how we're supposed to do like a video presentation, which is one of the things that we're apparently supposed to do for a Kickstarter. Very a lot. I wish I just had like a step-by-step guide so that I could understand it. Go. Very, very wet. After this little bit of painting, I'm gonna go grab some pizza. Found a few flaws in the it's not the print itself. It's a bit of a flaw in the side there because that is where there were supports. Hopefully that is not a thing. That's a thing that we've learned to get to fix. Right. I'm just gonna set them down like that. Remind you that the flash of steam that protects your fingers when you lick it and touch an iron to test the heat. Ah, okay. The danger puffs. Remember that there is a civil rights movement happening around the country and the wider world. Black Americans, people of color, are fighting for things that should never have to be fought for, like equal rights, equal treatment under the law, and to not be attacked, terrorized, and even murdered by the police. There are ways you can help, including the Bail Fund Network to help keep protesters out of jail, the Okra Project, and the Black Trans Travel Fund to help Black, trans, and non-binary people with food supplies and travel out of dangerous situations, and the Black Hills Legal Fund, the Lakota people's organization to take back their land, the Six Grandfathers, which was stolen by white people, arbitrarily renamed to Mount Rushmore, and then had some white slave owners' faces carved into the side of it. Under this second commander, more ways you can help. These are all kept up to date by my Sib September. It's the Eternal September in chat. Please let it know if there's anything else that needs to go here. But these are all current campaigns and things you can do to help right now. Black Lives Matter. The lives of people of color matter. Indigenous lives and lands matter. Asian Pacific Islander lives matter. These are things that we got to keep saying and pushing and fighting for until the people all the way up to the very top not only understand and acknowledge them, but work to make them real protected truths. All right, I'm going to run an ad break. We have no stance on ad blockers. I'll be back here in just a couple minutes with pizza and soda probably. So I'll see you then. All right, I'm back. And I got chick pizza that September made. It looks very good. I have confidence it's going to taste very good too. Oh, hi Freya. Oh yeah, that's fucking tasty. That is fucking tasty. What y'all doing? Eat anything good? Really fucking good. Mozzarella sticks. Ooh. I don't eat a lot of mozzarella sticks because I can only eat like a couple before it's too much grease for me. Looking at stuff. A bunch of fucking people on Nextdoor trying to band together to run the homeless out of town, which is really fucked up. That pisses me off. I hope they're too disorganized to cause trouble. I am reporting their posts, and when other people report them, I am voting to remove them. Because I am a moderator in a place with no real sense of community. Okay. What is next to paint? So wild to me that Nextdoor moderators are randomly selected, right? That's a terrible idea. How identifiable is a member of Nextdoor if I were to use it? Will anyone be able to figure out where I live? It won't show your address, but it does make sure you're within a particular geographic area. So it would allow people to know the space you inhabit, but not your actual address. I've also got this Is carbonated juice. It's really just soda. It's just soda that's juice instead of corn syrup. In any case, I don't recommend using Nextdoor ever. It really is a cesspit. What are they going to do about me saying so? Are they going to ban me? They're going to ban me from Nextdoor? It's very easy to, I mean, I would never, ever recommend you use a fake name, obviously. That's against their terms of service. So definitely don't do that. Being banned from Nextdoor almost seems like the optimal scenario. You are very much correct. Well, this is working, but it's also dripping places that I don't want it to drip. The paint, not Nextdoor, though. I suppose it could apply to both. One of the things that has some of the worst representation in tabletop is fat bodies. That's why, because there is fat representation, so to speak, in tabletop, while a lot of other stuff there's no representation whatsoever. But with fat bodies, it's usually used as a punchline. That's why a lot of these very cool heroic people are going to be fat. I think that's an important thing to introduce. This is our first, like, very, very fat person. And damn, do they look good. They're very muscly. And Moxhead asked me there was going to be non-muscular fat people, and absolutely yes. Because they are no less important. We go over some of this white again, like with other colors. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some touch up around the edges. That's one of the troubles with having very shaky hands from arthritis and etc. Yeah, this is the demon dog. The demon dog one. Loosely based on y'all's and our very own the demon dog. Yep, a wonderful creature. All right, we're gonna let that white paint dry while I open this. While I open this totally not a soda. The pack that I've been getting, didn't get them this week. I'm regretting not getting them this month because they are so fucking good. They have 4 flavors. One of them is apple, which is this one, and it tastes very Granny Smith, and I think that it's very, very tasty. And then they also have mango, which, unlike Pepsi mango, tastes like mango. And then there's a blackberry one and an orange one, which Katie can't get enough of. She always drinks all the orange ones. Don't tell her I said that. All right. Yeah, the apple one's really good and the blackberry one's really good. And I like the mango and the orange. And I like apple and blackberry better. Oh, I've got frozen blackberries that I should be turning into a smoothie. I definitely want to get tested for hypothyroidism because it didn't even occur to me until literally today that I might have it. I have so many of the common symptoms. I'm the right age for it to kick in, judging by genealogy. And I'd like to be less cold and less tired. I would really like to be less cold and less tired. I didn't hear what you said or who I'm not supposed to tell, so I'm good. Okay, thank you. Go over here. And I'm not sponsored by these companies. I just want to talk to you about drinks I like. This is the Pipeline Punch Monster Energy. It's empty. But it's really good. I think that my favorite two are this one, Pipeline Punch, because it just tastes like Pog, which you can't really get in most parts of the States. And the other one is called Pacific Punch, which tastes like Tahiti Treat, which you also can't get in most parts of the States. So it's nice to have equivalent flavors to two of my favorite drinks. Right, let's see. We take more of the white and we do another layer. But yeah, white paint is very hard to work with on miniatures. Probably white and red are probably the hardest colors to work with. White tends to be over pigmented, which makes it look like bird shit. And red tends to be way under pigmented. Orange, too. Means you have to do layer upon layer to get it right at times. Demon Dog crop top. Exactly. I think a lot of the characters are going to be wearing crop tops. And part of that is that that's something I associate with body positivity. Partially thanks to Annie. They're not all going to be wearing crop tops, but there's going to be a lot of crop tops. Something that we're working on for if we get into full production. I'm trying to figure out how to do mastectomy scars. I'm not sure it's going to be possible unless it's just paint detail, which feels like it would defeat the purpose of having an unpainted miniature to set out. I think that's the last layer of white we need. At worst, it's going to look like there's gray parts. So we're going to have to wait for that to dry completely before we do touch-up. So we're going to set them like that again. What's this Shopify link? Oh my god. It's beautiful. Crop top with corn and wheat on it. Oh shit, I learned that I love wearing crop tops as September right before it became too cold to wear crop tops anymore. Oh no. A crop top, very nice. I was thinking Cropnocopia top. Right. So now I'm just kind of staring at paint dry. You know what we can do? Is we can take some of the gray. Where is it? This gray, the very light gray, and we can use that for. There it is. We can use that for the horns. Because sometimes your demon dog has horns. These specific horns were, in fact, chosen by the demon dog for this miniature. Just paint that on real nice. Ow, 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 random pain in my finger. This happens sometimes, don't worry too much. Ow. Okay, there we go. There we go. Hi, Resby. Right in there. It's the thing with miniatures is everything is a small detail, so you have to be very patient. Sometimes a finger needs to slightly pop out, and you just have to pop it back in. Yeah, that's very true. I know I get pain in my fingers from arthritis, and from carpal tunnel, and from all the other horrible things that are happening inside of my bone bodies. I drank too much bone-hurting juice as a child, and I've been paying for it ever since. Oh, bother. Ow, my bones. Oof. Go. Nice gray polished horns there. I like how that's come out. Right, it looks like the shirt is about dry now. See if there's anything that I need to layer on more. I'm going to put a little bit more on the back here. Used to love painting miniatures, and I stopped for a long time because it's expensive. Now I've got a 3D printer, which makes it significantly less expensive for us, but also significantly more complicated because now we design the miniatures. Katie does most of the design work. But I have, in fact, found out that I'm pretty good at tinkering with 3D shit. Oh, I want to show y'all the textured hair on this model that I was able to create. I'm very excited about it because there's not a lot of options for textured hair. The whole thing is, by the whole thing, I mean like everything to do with 3D modeling is skinny white people. So being able to create something, oh fuck, right, turn off the light, there we go. Being able to create something like this, I'm so glad that I was able to do this. The body's a placeholder, by the way. That's the default Genesis 8 body. The hair is the important part there. Also in a reference pose and A pose. Went to look at that Finn Balor quote about popping his shoulder out and didn't find it, but apparently he and Edge had a heck in a sec match so good that Russell Crowe came down off the benches and said it was rad. Huh. When we were that's wild. When we were little, one of my sister's friends from church kept dislocating her shoulder to the point that she learned how to pop it back in. That used to happen to me too. My shoulders are generally okay now. Thank you, Bad Road. All right. But next, I guess we start touching up around the white, which means I'm going to need brown and black paint. Ugh, whoops. Got some on my finger. There we go. Now you can see it. This case is great for like fucking around because it's got these compartments kind of on the lid. So I can just like get stuff to not stick together. He's the pull quote because he's in a WWE film the match was meant to promote. God, that company's a shit mess. Yep. All right, so we've got the black, and now we've got the brown. And so now we are going to touch up around the white. What do we got here? It looks pretty good on the front. Do some touch up around the pants too, though. Okay. There we go. I don't know if y'all can even see it right now. I'm very, very close trying to get this right. Here, over the white, nice deep, deep brown. It's ochre brown because I wanted to say ochre. Go. Kind of brown, shading into deep red, orangey brown. Okay, so I wasn't that far off then. Well, some of these paints are very, very matte, and others have a little bit of a shine to them. And they look very strange side by side. So that's going to be fixed by the varnish, which is going to give them all a shiny but mostly matte appearance. Okay. Ah, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. So now we need the black paint, which is right here. We can use that to just fix up the rest of the area. The thing about colors is we all experience them differently. And it's only fairly recently that that's been generally admitted. Someone like me who's colorblind, it's tritanopia specifically, you might notice my my reticence to use yellow in my art, even though I really like the color, you know, when I can recognize it. You might notice that We all experience color differently. Crispy, what are you chewing on? Please don't eat stuff off the floor. He's been doing this lately. Baby. Oh, now he's acting all dejected. You know, all mommy. Mean old mommy Alice, not letting him eat stuff off the floor. Around the shoulder here. To also give it a bit of a fur texture by tapping the edges of the brown areas with black. And that gives it kind of a fur look. Haven't figured out an efficient way to do a fur texture on any of these. I may figure it out one day. But today is not that day, probably. Unless I, like, right after the stream, I go in and I'm like, oh, I figured it out. This is it. I did it. And then it might be today. But I don't think that's going to happen. So today is probably not that day. This is my emotional support random snack. Gonna have to like watch you and Risby to make sure no one eats off the floor. Is that what's gonna happen? Right. Almost got this touch-up done. I'm pretty happy with how that's coming along. Anyone who tells you to leave the primer as the top surface, even because it's the same color as what's it called? Because it's the same color as because it's already the color you want. I find that you get a much better look by using paint over the primer rather than just leaving the primer visible. Currently, just doing the belt in black. Nice thing is, a lot of the belt winds up tucked under their belly, which is a good look, and also means I don't have to paint the whole belt. You won't let me eat the garbage. You won't let me eat my own puke. Now I gotta stop hunting dust bunnies. Terrible, I know. I'm just the meanest. Eight. Let's see. Down here at the bottom of the pants, I kind of want to fill that in with black rather than leaving it the same color as the pants. That is just a style preference. See over here, underneath the bunny's dress, also black. Yeah, I think that hair that I showed y'all is gonna be what we use for the final version of this woman in this wheelchair. That is exciting. Normally, the thing people want to do with 3D printing is use toon hair. So I kind of had to invent my own way to do more realistic hair. And I am still very, very proud of it. Because I invented a technique. Right. Don't want the paint on the feet leaking onto the platform too much. I think this is a really, really cool artistic endeavor we've set out on. I hope other people wind up as thrilled as we are. That's looking really good now. Still a couple spots that I need to, or with white, I need to take them off camera to do so, though. They're very tiny, and I need to have as much control as possible. Right around the arms. So, I should put in that small fur texture stuff that I was talking about. I think that looks pretty good. A little more here and here. That it's so close on some of these. There we go. Hi, the demon dog. We're painting the mini you inspired. They are pretty cool. Just like you. Kind of fucked up the strap there a bit. Not even a strap, it's a shoulder. No spaghetti here. Is, I think, an important thing to say when you're making a non-spaghetti strap shirt. It's to say no spaghetti here. I think that should be a thing everybody does. I'm gonna need metallics in a sec. Fuck, they're all the way over here at the back of the case. I'm gonna have to move stuff. We're gonna need to use the dark brown as a solid on the gun stock and such. Wood grain on guns is weirdly popular still, especially on rifles and shotguns. Gonna fill that in. Sure it doesn't blend in with the actual like fur or body parts. I'm making it much lighter and more solid. Just thick. Period. Full stop. Go. A lot of weapons in the 3D modeling space, too. Weapons are very popular. People want to make, like, fight scenes a lot. Paint it real good. Oh, now I've got Pigma's voice stuck in my head. Pigma Dengar. Pigma has Ligma. Ha ha ha. Oh, just get this deep brown going all over this gun. I don't actually need to be as careful as I'm being, as the silver can just go over top of the brown. So let's be a little sloppy. Pigma sucks. He's the worst of those guys. Even Andrew's better, and he's a fuck up fail nephew. He's the first boss of Star Fox Assault, which is pretty wild. Star Fox Assault needed more time in the oven, but I enjoyed it a lot. Oven, the cold game. Go. That's pretty good. The axe looks like it should have a wooden handle, too. Not sure, though. Not even sure how Wolf got stuck with the other three. I'm guessing they were the first three who responded to his, what's it called? His classified ad. Andrew, you know how he got stuck with, because that's Andross's nephew, and Andross is the one who hired him. As for Leon and Pigma, who fucking knows? Daddy squealed real good before he died. Fucking Pigma. Alright, now we're gonna work more on pants. What the kids do, right? Work on pants. Pretty sure that's right. All the kids nowadays working on pants. On the other hand, Slippy is a current member of Star Fox. I like Slippy. I always thought Falco was the really annoying one. Slippy gets into trouble, but god damn it, he tries. Falco just acts like a dick the whole time. Just Fox's dad and Falco's mom, you know, they were friends. So Fox has to have Falco on the team. All the TikTok kids are really into pants smithing. They're on to making jeans right now, I bet. Yeah, that sounds right to me. I gotta get these belt loops on, which is gonna be something I have to bring her off camera for. Let's see. There. And there. There. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Oh shit, I dropped them. Alice, don't drop the demon dog. Annoyed with them both for completely different reasons. And Slippy is apparently a talented engineer and more than pulls his weight there, yes. Don't mess up that R-Wing! Trying to figure out how this meme goes, and I think it's lie down on top of denim cutout, have friends drape second denim cutout over you, then they use hand sewing machines to stitch the pants around them. Oh no. Oh no. Da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. Got the skeleton song stuck in my head. Just random shit gets stuck in my head all the time. I can even tell you where that one came from, which is September described the pants smithing, and then my brain imagined the pants had marionette strings for some reason, and they did this skeleton dance. It starts out with blue jeans and then it spirals out into jumpsuits and underpants and entire fursuits. Wonderful. I think we're just gonna leave the handle of the hatchet as black. In fact, I'm gonna touch it up if there's any brown on it currently. Oh, I think that's gonna look fine. Which does mean I actually have to paint over the whole thing. Because that's primer. There we go. And I just told you my opinion like an hour ago about using primer as the top coat. In that I don't like it and I don't think it looks good. Now I gotta get out some silver paint. Aston, no, there's not space. He's being sad. Thank you, baby, for understanding. Canadian Skinzito. Oh no. Oh no. So, question for y'all Americans. Why does America always call things the names of other countries? Like Canadian tuxedo and French fries. Like, what's up with that? If anything, a Canadian tuxedo would mostly involve flannel. Colonialism and othering makes sense to me. Canadian bacon, yeah, that came up earlier. I gotta move this palette. I'm setting it on my phone. What a great idea. Now I'm going to reach somewhere. This is the metallics, right? Yeah, I mean, fluorescents are over there. Oh, that's white pearl, which is a metallic, but not the one I need. This it? Silver, yes. There's also gunmetal somewhere. No, I think I ended up not getting the gunmetal. And Haiti to get these, so I don't know what all is here. But I think silver's the closest to gunmetal I've got, and that's fine. Here we go. All right, now we get some silver paint. Silver paint. Silver paint. Something, something in the city. All right, so let's mix in a little bit of water. Not going to need quite as much for this one, which means I'm going to accidentally dump in a ton. Yep. I really need to just get a dropper, like, specifically for this. Yeah, that's going to need more paint. This paint needs more paint. Available in metallic mint green. Yes, I actually have metallic mint green. Heck, let me actually pull that out because it's just like a really cool color. Come on. It's not quite mint green now that I'm looking at it, but it is very green and very metallic. It's called green. Yep, it's literally just called green. And if I mixed white pearl with it, that would make it mint green. Freya Dragon saw a Geocat creature today. The Geocat was a tuxedo cat, and they were hanging out around the dumpsters before crossing the street. That's wonderful. Aminal creature sighted. I think these things are important. Data did drink green on Star Trek. That was such a good callback in that episode. Like, damn, that was hardcore fan service. You know, that's harkening back to a scene in the original series where Scotty was asked if he even knew what that was he was drinking, and he said, it's green. Also, what Peppermint Patty gets when she multiplies 6 times 12. Oh, fuck. Too much water still. Fuck. Fuck. No, I'm gonna break it. Damn it. fuck up this whole thing right now. Stay tuned. Favorite part of the original series is when Scotty would beam them up. Fuck. It's wild how specific phrases will become ingrained in the popular idea of what a thing is, even though those phrases were never spoken. There's a Star Wars one, Luke, I am your father, but I know how that came to be. Which is that someone was saying, I am your father, and they needed to make sure that it was clear that it was Star Wars, so they added in the Luke. That I can see where it came from. Beam me up, Scotty. Kind of a weird one. Probably came from one of those fan mags. Scotty drank an enemy under the table and was pretty blitzed by that point, yeah. I also liked when Bones would tell Jim they were dead. Liked when Spock was fascinated. Yeah. Sometimes I think about going back and watching the original series, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. It's one of those ones that you have to go in prepared for it being very 1960s, which is a couple steps below 1990s. It had some very progressive shit for the time. And then nowadays, feels significantly less so. I know it meant a lot for a lot of people. I remember Whoopi Goldberg actually talking about when she saw Uhura for the first time. And she went yelling to her mom, there's a black lady on Star Trek, and that's so good. And then she wound up on Star Trek years later. So, let's see. There's a black lady on TV and she ain't no maid. Keep painting. That's what we're going to do. We're going to continue painting until all the painting is done. So I really like how she did this pose, because Katie does a lot of the actual design work. I like this pose because, like, Demon Dog here is not holding that gun correctly. You'll note very specifically that they have their finger on the trigger ready to fire, but they're getting ready for a hip fire out of a full shotgun, and that's just badass. Okay, we're actually getting pretty close to being finished here. Gotta get the hammer colored in. The hammer cannot be made of wood, probably. That seems like it wouldn't work. Wood int. The painting will continue until morale improves. I'm not sure whether to do the. I kind of want to do the claws on the feet in silver. I think that's what we're gonna do. There's not a specific reason for that. I just saw that I had silver on my brush, and I was like, yes, that. This is gonna have to be off camera too until I'm done. Right, getting there. I'm honestly kind of excited at the idea that eventually we may have a higher resolution 3D printer, because like 4K prints look really nice already. And I would love to be able to print and provide 8K versions, because wow, the detail on those is incredible. Okay, good night, Beekeeper. Thanks for coming. We got some silver on the feet. Not super noticeable, very tasteful. We got to finish up the gun, and then I got to work on the detailing around the face and one shoulder. Like there's a little bit of stuff that needs to be done around the right shoulder. Oh, whoops, why did I close that back up after using it? Sure you have a good enough graphics card for your 8K printer. I think it'll be fine. The whole process of UV rosin printing is so cool. Literally like a screen that is used to put out harsh UV light, which then hardens the resin. And it does that layer by layer. It's also got anti-aliasing, which is why you may have seen like a lot of 3D prints where you can tell where the layers are and they look kind of odd and bumpy. These are have anti-aliasing, which makes them smooth. Most of the time, just 1x anti-aliasing is enough to get rid of that bumpy effect. That staircase effect, I'll call it. Come on. Almost done with that. Very close to the part where I put ink on it. 19th century traveling salesman UV rosin printing. Very nice. Have you ever seen a fresh string instrument rosin? It looks good and is a whole sensory experience. Hell yeah. Go. Go. All right. Getting close to having the gun detailed correctly. The weapons are cool and all. I want them to be detailed correctly, but they are kind of the least important parts of the model, I feel. Our side. And I think the gun is good enough now. Now we can work on the last detailing. And we will be ready for ink. Great thing about acrylic paints is if they're not lumped on, They dry very quickly. The inks take a little bit longer, though I'm in front of a fan, so that might help with that. Get some of this black. Oh, the water's actually starting to, what's it called? You know, that thing where water disappears into the air? Evaporate. Here we go. All right. Now let's see if we can get this shoulder just right. I think that almost does it. Check around the other shoulder here too. I just noticed it's not perfect. Remember, when you're painting, things don't have to be perfect. It doesn't mean I'm not going to try to get close. Ooh. I also like when the water becomes rain. I used to like it more. Nowadays, it causes pain. Rain pain. All right, so now I want to get some pink in the ears, now near the base. I want to get the eyes colored in. Since they're the demon dog, I should say a demon dog, because you are the demon dog, the demon dog. But since they are a demon dog, I think red eyes might be pretty cool. So let's get our brightest red. Now let's see, we got poppy and we got cherry. Let's go with the poppy. Hopefully, just putting it in as a dot is not going to take multiple coats. Because as I said earlier, red is the hardest color to work with for the opposite reason that white is the hardest color to work with. All right, here we go. I'm scared to do it. It? No. Almost. Almost got it. Fucks that up a bit. That can be fixed. Not a big deal. I think that's what I'm going to have to do for this eye, is just put a big blotch on there and then paint over the outside of it. Yeah, that's what's going to have to happen. Finally had the presence of mind to divest myself of pants. I did that years ago. My current dress, by the way, it's got a little cartoon spider over here. If I can get this thing to actually look at it. There. Very, very cute. Very cute. Okay. Gives her tightest pants to her juiciest soldiers. Very nice. Gaston, you need to know. You need to stop. You can come up after I'm done, but I gotta clear stuff out first. Shoo. Go. What delectable thigh meats. I like to think so. Alright, so we're gonna grab just a drop of black paint and just that around the sides of the eyes. That's starting to look good. That's starting to look real good. Y'all can't see what I'm looking at because this needs to be like right next to my face for me to get the detail done. This is very fiddly work right now. I think if we end up only doing 4K prints, that making the heads even bigger than they currently are might be a helpful thing to do. So we don't have quite as fiddly a detail right here on the head. They all have to be kind of stylized with big heads, hands, and feet. Because that's just how it works with tiny miniatures that you want to paint. Okay. I think, except for, oh, I see one thing that needs to be changed, or that needs to be fixed. That's just the side of the top part of the wood, or metal, or whatever it is, on the axe. So now we're just going to let everything there dry, which is going to take just a moment. And we're going to grab some of our acrylic alcohol-based inks. You're not going to need blue for this. I should also close that, huh? So what we are definitely going to need is we're going to need black. See, what else? May just be black for this. There's yellow. I don't think that's good for the pants. Well, that's not good for the pants. We got red. We got green. We got brown. Which says skin wash, which I hate. I fucking hate the words skin wash right next to each other. That makes me very uncomfortable. Truly, we have to think about what's best for the pants, right? It's very important. So I think we're just going to need the black and the brown. And I really hate that the skin pants are going to have to be skin washed. That's just a shower. You know, you're right, but saying it like that still makes me uncomfortable. I wonder if they make it. I wonder if they make washing inks in metallic colors. I know Vallejo doesn't because I already checked. I wonder if there's any company that does. All right, so. Oh, why is that not opening? Weak grip. Weak grip. Arthritis. Just one drop of ink. And shower. There we go. Hey, that worked. And I think I actually need more water. Let's find out. Let's see how this looks on my hand. Yep, need more water. Kind of a reddish brown, huh? Hopefully it looks okay. That gonna do it? Now for larger things like a tank, a lot of metal, you might want the ink a little bit thicker. This ink does not have this do the same thing that I was expecting that the other inks do. That's interesting. So here we go. It's rain and jorts. That's the pants shower, huh? All right. Pants shower. Pants shower. Just dab it on there. Sometimes we move it off. It sinks into the nooks and crannies of the pants. You can do a similar thing. And it looks a bit different, but you can do a similar thing using paint and water. But the inks, I really like how they travel. Bit different from how a paint wash travels. And Katie was getting into 40K. We had a green paint-based wash that you could use for pork flesh. And that was really fun. I think this works as khaki now that it's got the reddish detailing over it. Some serious pigmentation in this ink though. Even once I've diluted it so much. Which is odd because red usually has fucking no pigment. Alright. I think that's the whole pants. Pants the whole pants and nothing but the pants. Ooh. Dye makes the pants not afraid. Hey, just noticing right over here. Just a tiny bit more. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that gives the pants some nice texture. Aren't acrylic inks so cool? It just sinking into the crevasses. So everything else, I think, will just need the black ink. I also think textured pants are pretty cool. Okay, 1 drop of black ink. And way too much water. Hopefully that'll do. Right at the end of the process, and I finally figured out how to Get only a few drops of water at a time. Acrylic paint looks really tasty. Please, don't eat my paints. If not for your own health, then for the fact that they cost money. And I need them. Let's get a little bit of black ink on the top. Let that sink in. Have that on there. Dab, daub, one of those. Get a little bit. Oh yeah, fill in that belly button. That looks nice. That looks nice. I like that. So with this one, I'm actually gonna have enough time to varnish it on stream, so that's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. Varnishing is the last step, and it brings out all the details. Not to mention, protects the paint. So everything you've done looks even more detailed. It's really cool. I never did put the pink in the ears, but that's okay. Go right in the eyes. That would hurt in real life if you got ink in your eyes. I don't think that would be very pleasant. Why don't the Splatoon kids wear goggles? I feel like protecting their eyes is important. Right on the feet. Dab up some of the still wet ink on the pants. There we go. We're gonna just heavily ink the rock till it finally gives us the rock bottom and or the people's elbow. Once when I was very young, my mom took me clothes shopping, and I drove her up the wall claiming I didn't like blue jeans because they were khaki. I meant tacky. Wonderful. I am a little creature who both loves and fears the phrase, "What's that in your mouth?" I am doom driven. Oh, the squid kids have double eyelids. That makes sense. Okay, now we're gonna... I think I'm gonna use the brown wash on the wood. See if I can give it at least, like, the illusion of having a wood grain instead of just being plain brown. Might actually pay off to put on brown ink and then put black ink over it. There we go. Gotta ink the hands, too. Get them pobs going. I used to hate jeans. And I started wearing them and I didn't hate them so much. Now I hate them again, you know, as something on me. They're very uncomfortable to me. And part of that is probably the fact that my skin is looking for any opportunity to just tear. Did you ever relent to your gene destiny? Cephalopod eyes don't even have corneas. Oh, I didn't know that. That's some wild shit. Right, so now we're just gonna do the wood brown ink. Should not be called flesh wash. I don't like it. Come on, Vallejo, do this for me. And me specifically. But yeah, the red's coming out real good, actually. And it works because there is a space between the gun and the pants that the shading fills in really nicely. Alright, so now I'm gonna sit here. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do, but that's fine. We're gonna sit here and wait for that to dry, and then we're gonna varnish. Actually got her to buy me some khaki cargo shorts because what I actually wanted was pockets. Important. Okay. Oof. That's a lot of painting we just did. As soon as I get the varnish on them, I'm going to put them all up here and to show what they look like. I also need to put a tiny bit of varnish on Bunny's face. So let's actually start with that. I wouldn't normally use this brush for varnishing because you need to kind of slather it on there. But this is literally just like a dab of varnish. This has been a productive night. Gotta figure out something to play next week. So there we go. Now she's varnished up. Actually hate wearing clothes. Tight pants are just a hug for the legs. Makes sense. I used to hate wearing clothes. Then I discovered that there were clothes I liked, which was surprising, but also very nice. Cephalopod eyes don't have corneas because they're part of the cell layer that becomes the skin, while vertebrate eyes are from the cell layer that becomes the brain. Oh, that's wild. All right, we're just sitting here waiting for the ink to dry, because that's the stream now. I have two things on my soundboard. Okay, one of them is this.
Nailed it. I know. Thank you. Moving on.
Which September cut for me. And the other one is, of course,
I'm gonna get that cake, Fred.
I think they're very important, and I will be able to use them in many games in the future. Floppy jeans and such have the being attacked by air currents and unexpected cloth touches, and also weird noises when you walk problem. My problem with jeans is that the fabric digs into my skin, especially around the knees. And with how fragile my skin is, that turns into a rash and even bleeding very quickly. Okay. all the ink dry now? Looking very closely. No, there's a little bit of wet ink still. Also, I'm going to grab some of this black paint and dab it in a spot. But it should be dry by the time the ink is. I need to find, like, I don't know, a DVD set of Fred the Show. The ink didn't react particularly well to the white paint, but it actually makes it look like it's got a marble texture, and I think that's kind of cool in its own way. So we're keeping that. We're staying with that. Yeah, I think I like that. That's very interesting. Erskine has so much going on. I'm glad it's done doing this. There was a day where my belt buckle was making my overhang irritated where it was touching. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I have problems with anything rubbing against my skin, which is why all of my clothes are so swishy. Demon Dog Knight statue. Hell yeah. Maybe we could make like a chess set. That'd be kind of cool, right? I don't know what we do for the board though. We could at least make the pieces. Body positive chess is actually kind of an interesting idea. Gotta concentrate on the current project for now, though. Blowing on some of this ink. Get it to dry. There's like a couple of spots that are taking longer to dry because more ink gathered in those spots. These all look really good. I'm really happy with how these have turned out. We have the space for it. We're gonna get acrylics and canvases. That's awesome. I hope you stream some of the painting. Though no pressure if you don't feel like that's a thing you want to do. But I would love to see. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna do the varnishing. No comments on anything that looks remotely sexual about the varnish as it goes on. It definitely doesn't look like anything else. You can tell when you've got enough on there because it stops looking like that. Learned so much about painting from Bob Ross. Bob Ross was such a cool guy, and I really hate that as soon as he died, people started trying to make money off his corpse. Like, that sucks. He never wanted to advertise products or anything like that. Whoever has control of the estate immediately started doing that. And that sucks. It was within weeks. Fucking... He was on Mountain Dew. They put Bob Ross on Mountain Dew. Like, what the hell? Wasn't it even a case of his loved ones not being able to stop them from doing that? I'm not sure. I didn't look that far into it. I hope that's the case, and it's not that it was his loved ones making money off of him. Oh, look at that. Look at that belly. Look at that belly. That looks so fucking good with the varnish over it. Hopefully their belt buckle isn't bothering their overhang. Here we are. All this down here? Yes, I did. All right. Varnish is just such a cool thing. This is considered to be matte varnish, by the way. Like, that's not a joke because it's shiny. This is considered matte varnish. And I'm sure there's a more matte varnish, but this one's good. This one's good for our purposes. Or if we were painting a dolphin, it would be good for our porpoises. I know, dolphins and porpoises are not the same animal. Of course, the unfortunately still very prevalent fashion for a lot of things is just fold a tarp in half and call it a shirt. No need for any sort of care to be paid. Also, it's $20 more for materials. Ugh. Yep. Kind of just want to meet matte varnish. Matthew J. Varnish. So, the show Velma came out, and apparently it was really shitty. And I think that's a damn shame. I think it fell into the trap that a lot of quote unquote adult cartoons fall into. That as long as they say things, as long as they say cuss words and make sex and drug jokes, that's a good show right there. That's all it needs. That's the impression I got from people talking about it. Which is a shame. From the trailer, it looked really good. Want to not be within a mile of more matte, but would like to see what they get up to. Heard a rumor that it was an original show reskinned as a Scooby-Doo related thing to get funding. That wouldn't surprise me, honestly. It doesn't like have Scooby-Doo in it from what I could tell, which is a weird choice. All right. So what if we made a Scooby-Doo but without the dog? The dog, yeah. You know, you don't need the dog in a Scooby-Doo. The dog named Scooby-Doo, you mean? All right, I think we're about done with the varnish now. Checking for any spots that don't look quite right. Like on top of this rock here. If you smell what I'm cooking. Not cooking anything. Okay, part of the pants didn't get covered. Well, here we go. We're almost finished. Get ready. Get ready for the final product. Da 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 da. Oh, I didn't get this side of the gun. Whoops. Da 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 da. You can do spray varnish, but I find it to be a pain in the ass for small details. It's interesting because the spray primer, fucking great. Here we go. There we go. It's Scooby-Doo, I'm sad he's dead in bones. Humanity destroyed itself and then they got high and died. You'll be missed. Well, thank you, September. Let's get all three of these together. I'm going to turn off the ring light so that it's not just glaring off of them. And that's too dark. Okay. Make up your mind, light. The concept of light. How dim can we make it? There, that should be good. There we go. We got all three. All finished. And those are our prototypes. The 3 prototype characters are done. Oh yeah, the pants look so good with the ink and the varnish on them. Oh, I'm glad we went with that color. That looks great. It looks like Demon Dog is doing a Chell cosplay. I can see that. So yeah, we're gonna try and figure out how to do this Kickstarter thing. And this is a brave new venture we're going on. Like, if we can raise like $2,500, we can put out one hell of a fucking miniature line. And I'm scared and excited to think about it. But yeah, that's what we got here. And I really hope there's as much demand as there is need for something like this. Because I absolutely consider this to be something the world needs. Alright. I guess that's it for now. Thank you all for coming.
I'm gonna get that cake, Fred.
I just found the dropper that I, in fact, had not thrown out. So I will clean that out and have it ready for next time. Let's see. Schedule. There we go. Tomorrow is Friday, right? So if the internet's still working correctly, working as intended, then we got Katie playing Tales of Arise. Saturday, we got someone on the Xenon Fiber channel going over to Kingdom Hearts 2. Sunday, we got Wandering Beekeeper playing Wildflowers on his channel, Wandering Beekeeper. Monday, September and Katie will be playing more Arcade Spirits, The New Challengers. And Andy on his channel, Andymonium, will be playing Ghost Song. Tuesday, we got Annie with more Resident Evil 4. That's RE:4. And Wednesday, we got Sue with Steel Rising. And then over on Bad Road's channel, he'll be playing Shadowrun Hong Kong. And then Sue in September will play more Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak over here. And Thursday, I've got to figure out something new to play on the stream, or else it's going to be more Overwatch and Final Fantasy XIV, which would also be fun. Overwatch was really nice today, actually. It was friendly except for a couple of people, and that was really great. And then back on Andy's channel, they'll be playing Ghost Song as well. So that's the week. RE:4, not to be confused with RE4, exactly. Here's our YouTube channel. There's lots of great stuff on there. If you want to see more art, there's lots of art streams by September if you want to check those out. September's does some really cool Peyton stuff, and I think that that'd be well worth your time to watch. Super fun, great great painting, just all around good time. And I guess that's it for now.